Good morning, everyone. Reese is my name, and I'm the lead pastor here at Proclaim. I'm here to just give you a quarterly financial update for the year. We're planning to give these quarterly for your encouragement, for your integrity, for your prayers, and for transparency. One of the things we did last year was we went through the church health survey, and one of the findings was that you guys told us you wanted us to be a bit more transparent in how we're traveling, so one of the ways we're doing that is to give quarterly updates. We're 3 years in now as a plant. We are so joyful for every person walking with us. Just from the bottom of my heart, as your pastor, can I just thank you for doing so? I promised I wouldn't get teary, but you know me better than I know myself. But anyway, thank you from the bottom of my heart. I really appreciate that you journey with us. One of the things we've been blessed with in the past 3 years is funding from a donor that has enabled us to get to where we are. So perhaps you're not aware, but someone we've never met gave us $180,000 so that we could start. They believed in the vision that we set out with as a church. They gave generously to us so that we would be able to exist here in this place. And if you were at the annual meeting in November, you'd know that as of this year, the funding is done with now, it's ceased, and now we have to stand on our own 2 feet. If you were with us in January, a few weeks ago when I preached on our mission and vision statement, I mentioned 3 things regarding giving. The first question was, are you a Christian? The second is, are you being taught the Word of God? And if the answer to either of those questions is no, then as a church, we actually don't expect you to give. But if the answer to both of those is yes, we have a third question for you to consider. If you've been with us the past few months getting to know us and asking, is this my community? Are these my people? And then if the answer to all of those is yes, we believe that the biblical instruction is to give generously. I think, if I'm honest, generosity throughout my life, as I look through my life, it comes very easily to some of us, and that's not me. I found that generosity is not in my nature. It's something that I've had to ask the Lord for. And I found that the antidote to the hardness of my own heart is to be generous. And so anytime I think no, I almost instantly say yes, just for the antidote to my own heart. And I find that works. And so I want you to know that I'm standing before you and I'm speaking about church finances with integrity and conviction in my heart, constantly learning and growing about what true gospel-centered generosity is. And I want to say to those of you who are already giving generously and will keep giving generously, again, thank you. Thank you so much for financially partnering with us. There are many things you could give your money to. We're so aware of this. There is always a cause. And for you to journey with our church is such an honor. So I just really want you to hear that from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much. We really appreciate that you've putting your money towards our cause. And I hope that every year we will all, as a people of God, keep growing in generosity every year in our hearts. So, in terms of our financial position, I've got 3 slides. You can put the first one up for me, Sky, thank you. If you're at the annual meeting, you would have seen that when we budgeted for the upcoming year, the bottom number is the one we're looking at, the bottom part of the graph. We budgeted our income for $13,964 per month, but our expenses are actually $16,122. It might sound strange to hear that we budgeted for a deficit. However, we can't just budget for what we need if that's not what we have. When you're a new church, churches don't start with money, and that's why we were blessed with $180,000, and that was the reason we're able to continue going. So we were expecting a $2,158 deficit at the end of each month, which equals $25,896 at the end of the 2026 financial year. Our monthly giving average is the top number. It's currently $13,348 averaging per month, which is $616 behind what we thought. So if we continue this trajectory, we're going to be tracking at $7,392 behind budget in giving at the end of the year. but we've already budgeted for a loss of $25,896. So when you put those two numbers together, we're currently tracking for $33,288 behind at the end of the 2026 financial year if things continue to stay the way that they're tracking. Can I have the next slide, Sky? In terms of our asset position, at the end of the last financial year, we had $74,818 in the bank. Now, keeping in mind, we already budgeted for a deficit of $25,896, and we're currently forecasting for $7,392 behind what we set for giving. And the move from Alliston Community Centre cost us $10,000 that we didn't budget for due to the fact that at the time of setting the budget, we didn't know we were going to move. So the reality of our financial position is that as it stands, we are currently tracking to finish the financial year, September 30, with $31,530 in the bank. We also shared at the annual meeting that the reason we have moved to Clyde Public Hall is so that we can set up for future growth. Alliston Community Centre could only hold 100, and Clyde Public Hall can hold 250. And so far, we've actually, I don't know if you knew this, but we've had one service over 100 already, which is something we weren't allowed to do at Alliston. Meaning we're already doing what we recognised we couldn't do in our old venue. However, of course, there are challenges we are aware of and we're discussing with our leadership team. This is no surprise to anyone in this room. There are challenges of acoustics in the hall. I'm aware that the echo in here is terrible for talking. Often, if you're talking with me before, during, or after the service, I'll have to ask you to repeat yourself. And I'm sure you do that with others. Know that we're aware of that. And in fact, at our last leaders meeting, we made a minute to make sure that and we're doing this, we're finding out from an acoustic engineer how much it would cost to reduce the echo in the room. We also have, this one you may not be aware of, there's a challenge of a lack of air conditioning and heating in the foyer area where our kids meet. For packed kids, it gets hot very quickly. It's 31 degrees today. The morning sun comes through, streaking through that window. And so we are also aware of this, and we're thinking about ways to block out the sun or cool down the room, but it's a bit difficult because there's no easy access window to actually do so. There's two other priorities. One of our biggest priorities is that we want to expand Noah's hours to full time. We've already begun to move forward towards this. We've committed in the budget to 3.5 days for Noah from July of this year onwards. You need to know as a church that Noah is coming up to the end of his studies with Ridley College, and I don't know about you, but I love Noah and Teresa, and I want them to be at this church for a long time. And the way that we do that is to get him to full time. The fourth priority we prayed about in this service, we have land and we would like to build. So there are 4 priorities that we have, and they all come with financial cost. The bank account, though, as you can see, is not in the right position that we would hope to meet those priorities. And what that means for our church is that we have 2 urgent financial battles. The first is we've got to grow our giving to make and maintain our budget. But we also need to expand the budget so that we can address the priorities we have, fixing acoustics, providing a solution to the foyer, getting Noah to full-time ministry, and to continue to work towards having our own building. They're big things. They're all important things. So let me reiterate. I don't know your situation. I don't know your heart. I never want to know what you give. Giving is a barometer of your heart, and so I don't want to know that. That's between you and the Lord. But what I do want you to know is what I've learnt is that there is nothing better you can do with your money than to give to the ministry of the Lord. Our family is committed to this church. We've committed to 7 more years, as you know. We're committed to being generous givers and to try to lead the way in this. And I'm praying that as we give generously, this will keep spreading for all of us. And for those of you who also give generously, that this will keep spreading. That's the privilege we have, and that's the opportunity we have to make and maintain our church budget, but also to grow and expand it so that we can sort out the priorities that we have. So as I mentioned, we're going to be giving quarterly financial updates. This is the first for the year. And every time I give them, I'm going to be asking a few things. I'm going to be asking at some point this week, maybe it's today, maybe it's later in the week, would you commit to putting on the kettle, sitting around the table with those in your family who are involved in finances, and ask two questions? Sky, could you put the last slide on? Firstly, are you giving your first fruits? If you don't know what that idea is, the idea of first fruits is a biblical idea, making sure that what you have, the first of it, is set aside for the Lord. So Proverbs 3:9 says, "Honor the Lord with your wealth and with the first fruits of all you have." And Galatians 6:6 says, "Let the one who has taught the word share all good things with the one who teaches." So we're not asking you to answer this for us, and we're not asking you to give your account to us, but what we are asking you to do is just to reflect. In your budget, are you ensuring that you're giving your first fruits? Are you giving to the Lord what is first, not what is left over? And if not, would you be willing to chat about that with people in your house who are involved in financial decisions? And the second question, what does generous, sacrificial, financial partnership of the gospel at Proclaim look like right now for you? Are you able to continue the way that you've been giving? Are you able to give more? Are you in perhaps a better financial position than you've been? Is there a way that you can reflect that? Because we're doing our best to be transparent, clear, to keep integrity in the process with finances at this church, and that's the purpose of these quarterly financial updates. If you have any questions, as always, we're very happy to chat about that. I'm happy to answer them or point them to the people who could answer them any time, including after the service. That's our quarterly financial update. I don't know about you, but I think we need to commit this to the Lord in prayer